Good morning. I am Cara Arbutante, 16 years old.
Hello, I am Alexis Nakalaban and I am 17 years old.
Hello, good morning everyone. My name is Sajitan and I am 17 years old.
Good morning. My name is Jericho Villalba, 18 years old.
I am Brianna Playo, 16 years old.
Well, it's obvious that the COVID-19 outbreak turned pandemic is making the world do things they don't usually do.
We have therefore made the assessment that COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
Given the situation, the economy of the Philippines dropped by a huge percentage. This resulted to people losing their jobs.
Mahirap eh. Mahirap pag mahirap. Walang pagkukunan ng kailangan, pagkain.
There are many regulations imposed on us by the government, specifically to citizens 21 and under. Basically, they aren't allowed to leave their homes unless they absolutely need to. They aren't allowed to go anywhere. They aren't allowed to go in contact with anyone at all, and they need to keep two meters apart from each other. And it's clear to everyone here that the government is doing whatever they can during this pandemic.
Everyone is staying at home, as you can see. On the other hand, frontliners like people working in the hospital are doing their best to flatten the curve. While I also heard in the news that there is a lack of medical supplies happening.
I can observe that rain is happening more often. It made me think of the people with no roofs to shield them from this rain. How did they manage to sustain themselves and their families with this pandemic happening right now?
As I can see, there are two boys so skinny asking something from someone which seems like they are begging for food. Hunger is what came directly in my mind. For me, hunger relating to this situation is the state of having no option of eating when they are hungry. This impacts me as a person because I care for the people I love. Seeing situations like such and imagining, what if it's my family who is experiencing what these children on the photo experienced? It breaks my heart knowing children such as them cannot eat as much as I do daily. Hunger is a problem resulting to another problem. As observed in my surroundings, I believe that it is important to address its root, which is poverty. It is important to address poverty preventing hunger in the first place.
In the photo, children who are suffering from hunger are reaching their arms out to ask for food from others. Hunger for me is a feeling of discomfort due to the lack of food that we consume. This problem impacts us by damaging our health and in worst cases, death. People who are suffering from hunger has the tendency of having a poor health because of the lack of nutrients that we get from the food that we eat. Thus, people who are suffering from this would have greater risks of getting sick and having diseases, which would eventually lead to death if left untreated. It is important for all of us to fight against hunger. Millions are suffering from it globally and a lot of Filipinos are experiencing it too. We should all do our parts and help one another. We could all start from not wasting our food to participating in feeding programs and donating of food to the needy. We should all take part of this in our own little ways and together put an end to hunger.
I've observed in the photo that there are kids begging for food from the photographers taking a picture. And it's sad, really it is. There are many citizens out there who can't really afford basic livelihood. They can't really survive on their own. It's sad to watch them just starve there, and they can't really do anything about it. They have to live their lives like that, and it's really sad to watch. So basically, to me, hunger is just pain. You watch your fellow brethren dying on the street, begging for food, asking, and just trying to find a way out of life, but they can't. They have to stay there and just beg for food, beg for money every single day and every single time. And it's painful to watch.
What I can observe is children asking for food because they are desperately hungry and in need for food, asking for whatever food they can eat only to satisfy the growling of their stomach. Basically, they are hungry. Hunger for me is someone who's unable to eat sufficient food, someone who would eat anything just to fill their hunger. Those people that you see on the streets, desperately clinging to their lives because no one is capable of feeding them, not even themselves. What I wish is that all of us can live equally. Everyone can fully enjoy their food, drink their water, and to satisfy their hunger. A world where everyone is treated equally.
So, hunger has been a constant problem throughout the ages. It is a problem that should be solved easily, yet there are still a lot of undernourished people worldwide. Millions live with hunger and malnourishment because they simply cannot afford to buy enough food, cannot afford nutritious foods, or cannot afford the farming supplies they need to grow enough good food of their own.
Urban farming is basically where farmers would grow vegetables, crops, or fruits within the city limits instead of through traditional farmlands. Compared to community gardening, it is a larger investment. Urban farming may not only solve hunger, but also climate change. Through this, fewer people are hungry, children are healthier and smarter, more local jobs are made, economy will be stronger, and our neighborhoods are greener and safer.
Urban farming is growing or producing food in a city or heavily populated town or municipality. Urban farming could be a solution for hunger since those people that are affected by it or who lives in cities and populated towns could use urban farming as a way to grow their food despite their circumstances in living in a city.
Community gardening is very useful, especially to those who are far away from any grocery store, and is useful to people living in urban areas. It can also provide fresh fruits and vegetables and is also good for the environment.
Me and my groupmates proposed community gardening. It's basically where there's a public garden where everyone can use whatever vegetables and fruits that are available there, as long as they refresh it, as long as they regrow the plants that they used, as long as there would be a person who would water those plants, there would be a person who would replant the seeds, so that everyone in that area would be able to have something to eat freely. And basically, in a way, anybody could eat without paying for anything. So long as everybody contributes and so long as everybody would help each other in regrowing the things that they have consumed.
One of the simplest ways to combat hunger is to initiate more food collection drives or feeding programs. A can of food may seem like a small step, but even a small step can make a huge difference in someone's life. Food drive is a form of charity that is conducted by a group of individuals or a corporation to stockpile and distribute foods to people who are deprived from this. Food drives can really make a difference when it comes to increasing donations and encouraging community involvement.
I am against hunger.
I am against hunger.
I am against hunger.
I am against hunger.
I am against hunger.